What's up, people? I'm Jay Avarice.
And I'm Brett.
And welcome to The Grid. Say, Brett, 2015 is come and gone.
I would say it is out like the dying heartbeat of a little avarice.
That's pretty morbid for the first video of the year.
Sorry, I just played Twisted Metal.
So are you sweet tooth for 2016?
I can only hope.
Any more surprises for me?
It would be a surprise if we actually started this video.
Coherent thoughts, or was a surprise?
Coherent thoughts, but those are usually a surprise, yes.
Indeed. Well, you know what we're going to do? Since the year has come and gone, as I said already, and I'm going to be redundant as much as I possibly can in this video, we're going to talk about, for the first time ever, nowhere else has anybody done this, our top video games of the year.
No, I mean, I can't think of anybody who's done it.
No one would ever do a top
Who would
list.
do that?
Top lists, we're inventing them right now.
It's true. And you know, if anybody ever did come out with a top list, their opinion doesn't matter. Only our opinion matters.
Thank you, thank you. We can go back to other videos saying where my opinion doesn't matter because I'm a huge fucking liar, but...
Yeah. So scratch that, my opinion
New
matters.
year,
He's
new
just here for
avarice.
no reason.
Indeed. So, Brett, it was a pretty good year for 2015 into new games.
I would say it was a very good and surprising year for video games.
Lots of surprises.
That's right.
It's just flowing right into the whole entire theme of this, isn't it? So what would you say, though, if you had to, like... If I put a gun to your head, which I wish I had a gun right now to kill you, because that's the only way my year would actually be awesome, is if you were dead, or I could throw you into a well and wish you well.
Cool.
You're dead. Have fun with this, aren't you?
Me.
What would you say, after you're dead, would be your top game of 2015?
I would probably say my favorite game of 2015 is going to be Metal Gear Solid 5.
Really? That's why you didn't tell me. Really? After all that shit? Metal Gear?
Metal Gear Solid 5 is my favorite game of 2015.
Enlighten me, Brett. Why? And everybody else. I really didn't know this, actually. Like, this shit, a lot of this shit isn't really planned out. Most of it isn't. I didn't know that he was going to say that, and... Just go ahead.
Well, I know what you're thinking. The story...
That I really want to kill you now?
Probably. The end of the story of Metal Gear Solid 5 was, overall, as fans of the series, pretty disappointing. But if I'm going to sit here and think about in terms of what's the game that I played this year that I had the most fun playing, and the game that when I came home from work, the first thing I wanted to do was play that game, it would be Metal Gear Solid 5. The game was, gameplay-wise, was maybe the best, one of the best games I've ever played. And yes, and the story elements leading up until the end were awesome. Unfortunately, it didn't end the way most of us probably would have liked, but
Yeah.
it was still my favorite game of the year. And that's all I have to say about that.
Interesting. I mean, we pretty much played that game simultaneously, and while I agree, I think it was amazing up until the end. And it's like they usually...
It was, and that's the problem. Like, you know, everything... You can't tell me up until you find out what happens in the end that it wasn't a phenomenal game.
No,
It was just fun as hell.
I think the fact that, like, actually the people of this fans of the series, like, we are probably super fans of the series.
Yeah, I mean, we've
care about the story.
Yeah, I mean, we've had many conversations about this before the game came out and after we beat the game.
And all the shit going on with Kojima.
We were actually going to make a video just about Metal Gear Solid, but we couldn't get it under like fucking 30 minutes.
At least.
So
It just kept going
so we
and
decided
going.
to not put it out. But I mean, that's how great that game was. I mean, it was just it just dropped bomb after bomb on us.
It split me right down the middle. It's like, okay, well, if you look at a game as a whole, I mean, I guess the core element of a game is it fun to play?
Absolutely.
And that game is
it's
very fun to play.
Easily, at the very minimum, the best playing Metal Gear to date.
My problem with it is that it's very, like, after all, like, the smoke clears and you, like, this is thinking too much into things, I think.
You realize that everything that you've done is all for nothing.
Well, I'm not talking about the story. I'm talking about, like, the redundancy of the missions, really. Like, did it make any sense to, like, take out all, like, the enemies' helmets, or, like, they were always coming back? And, like,
well, that was
all
a
missions
cool
were kind
thing
of the same
because
thing.
like it put that element in there for you to send your troops out and to stop those shipments of helmets or body armor. So when you go out on the field, there's less people with helmets and body armor.
It makes sense.
It makes perfect sense.
It just comes back so
It's just like a
fast.
little thing that, like, you know, it's just a side thing to do. It doesn't take anything away from the game, and it alters the way the game is played.
Yeah, 'cause the
thing
enemies
is,
react.
like, everything that you do in the game, the way you play it, the game reacts to it,
Right.
and it's different.
Yeah, I mean,
there's so many different ways to go about so many different missions in that game. Whether you just want to run in and just blow everything the fuck up, or you want to take the stealth approach. It always gives you that option.
I think it was definitely the most complete gameplay-wise of a Metal Gear game, but as far as story-wise goes,
It was
like you said, it's pretty much all for nothing.
Yeah.
It was the ultimate bait and switch. It kind of reminded me of actually Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah. And I mean, the most disappointing thing about the way the story went is the fact that, unless you've been living under a rock, most of you know, Kojima is no longer with Konami, and Metal Gear Solid 5, even though they kept saying it was the last one, it kind of leaves room for another one. There could be one more, there could be multiples. And now Konami has said that they are actually going to keep making Metal Gear games, which I'm going to stand on a public forum and say that I'm going to boycott them and never buy them, but when the truth comes out, when the game comes out, I'm probably going to buy it because I'm a self-loathing prick.
You are. You definitely are SLP for life. Well, that's pretty interesting, Brett. And
and I mean, like, the thing with Konami, like, you're never going to know the way that Kojima wanted it to end, which kind of sucks.
Deleted ending missions, like, you know,
like, you know,
we could go into this.
Yeah, we could talk forever, like I said, but
well, you definitely hit me with a curveball there. Are you Jesus Christ?
Whoops. I have nothing to say.
I always knew something was up with you. And actually, never mind, I'm not going to say that. But, okay, Metal Gear Solid 5 is your favorite game of the year.
So enough about me. How about you?
Well, Brett, see, out with the zero and time for the hero.
Is that another Metal Gear reference?
That was, I think, a Vanilla Ice fucking reference from Cold as Ice. My favorite movie of all time, of course. Cold as Ice. I mean, biggest Vanilla Ice fan of all time because I'm so fucking white. You know, there was three that I was thinking of, and I kind of kept rotating, but based off what you said, what is the most fun that I had playing all year long, or kept coming back to, keep circling and circling? My favorite game, the Avarice 2015 Game of the Year, Rocket League.
I don't hate that. I mean,
besides hitting me. Yes.
Jay, where's the ball, Avarice?
There's so many nicknames for me in that. The Avarice Mind Control was actually adopted and returned in Rocket League.
Yeah, I mean, Rocket League was, if anything, you could say the biggest surprise this year. It was just a free game. If you missed it, and I don't remember which month it was, maybe June? July?
I remember you talking about it like a month beforehand, saying like, this game looks interesting, we should download it, it's going to be free, and I was like, alright.
And it turned out to be one of the funnest games that we played all year.
I think we actually owe like a lot of our friends online and on the PSN network to Rocket League, and like all the craziest fucking shit in the world. Like, we played so many games. Brett and I have teamed up every time when they're playing the game. And before I get into that, if you don't know what the game is, it's basically cars playing soccer. Doesn't sound too amazing. Fucking play the game.
And if you missed it when it was free, then you definitely fucked up.
It's amazing.
But it's still worth. I think it's going for $20 on the PlayStation Network
with all the different add-ons now.
It's easily worth it.
Oh yeah, you can be the fucking DeLorean from Back to the Future in the game.
And it's very even. Like, there's a bunch of different cars and a bunch of different ways you can decorate them, whatever. But
the Canadian mariachi.
You can make the Canadian mariachi.
There is a car that I use as a mariachi hat with a Canadian flag, so your Canadian hero, turns into the Canadian mariachi.
And but the thing that you gotta love about the game is that no matter what car you pick, it's just for looks. The game is even. There's no pay-to-win system.
Nope.
Like, you can pay to get better cars that do better things. No, everything's the same, and it's just fun. Like, I mean, honestly, to this point in my life, if I had to choose between FIFA and Rocket League, I would easily play Rocket League.
Well, FIFA's a whole other conversation. But it shows that, like, this, if you get the simplest things in a game right, gameplay, it's going to be fun. And the game is simply, it's deceiving at its simplistic level, but it's actually very complicated when you get into playing tournaments and, like, team coordination.
Like we always said, it's easy to get good, but it's hard to get
very good. Yeah, I mean, we played tournaments where we thought we were good. And we're winning games here, and they were playing ranked, all that kind of fun stuff. We go into a tournament and get beat like 17-0. I thought we were the Washington Redskins for a little while. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And
well, that only happened once, and it turned out that team that we played was like one of the best teams in the fucking world.
What was our team name again?
The Multiple Scoregasms.
That's a gem right there from this guy, I think.
Yeah.
The
No,
multiple-
that was Dan.
That was Dan?
That was Dan.
Oh, shout out to Dan. The art of Dan Fu, using the Dan Dukin again. Yeah, it was just like... I was going to go with The Witcher 3, because I love The Witcher. I also was thinking of...
Well, before you continue, I would have loved to have brought The Witcher into this conversation. Unfortunately, I mean, the fact of the matter is, both me and Jay, we both work full-time jobs. Unfortunately, we don't do this every living second of our lives, which we would like to, but we just...
Go fund me! Go fund me!
But well, unfortunately with The Witcher, I just didn't get enough time. I just didn't get my hands on it enough. Like, easily with The Witcher, it's an easy 100 to 200 hour investment. I wish I had more time in it to be able to talk to you about it more in depth and better. That's definitely my goal for 2016.
Shit.
But,
Besides killing all the Avarices of the world.
But I know pretty much everywhere you go, Witcher 3 is everybody's game of the year for the most part.
It deserves it. I mean,
and I'm sure it is, by all means.
I played a lot of it, so like, yeah, I would like to talk more about it, but really, when we have maybe more time in the game, we can give you our own opinion, but just go anywhere right now, type in Game of the Year, and you're going to fucking find Witcher 3, pretty much
And
everywhere.
Developer of the Year. I mean,
Yeah,
the game
it deserves it. It really
I'm
does.
Sure, if you ever played the other Witchers, I mean, I'm sure you
They're
know.
phenomenal games.
But,
just personally, we want to just go, this is our favorite Game of the Year, and that's kind of funny that you said yours was ours. I mean, hey, I'm not gonna talk shit about it. Mine,
yeah, you
indie sensation. I'll talk about it later. So, you know, we just want to do, again, this is what matters. This is where the power lies, brother. So now you know what our favorite games of the year is, and I think we also have to touch on possibly the other side of the coin, what was not good games and what was disappointments, but I think that's
a topic for another day.
For another day, because I'm Jay Avarice.
And Dom Brett.
And happy 2015, because I'm
16.
going back to the past, because I'm a huge heel. Ha
The hero of 2006, Jay Avarice.
Yes, I'm the hero. The Canadian Mariachi, out.